Well, March Magic is continuing. The caravan from Bradley Airport carrying UConn players and coaches has just passed or is about to pass the Buckland Hills Mall in Manchester.
Just 20 minutes out from stores. Let's check in with Channel 3's Brian Garnett, who's up in the chopper. Okay, we'll check back with him a bit later.
The signal keeps coming in and out. There's a little wind up there and other technical things going on, but we expect to get that picture back very shortly.
Why don't we check in with Dee, who is outside Gamble Pavilion. Dee Griffin. Dee, are you there?
Denise, I'm right here with a lot of people who continue to stream in. Just when you think, okay, this is it, the crowd has come, this is all the people that will be here. No, more keep coming and keep coming and coming. They're down the street, walking up now in droves of people right now. Take a look. They're streaming by. There's a lot of wind out here, but it has not deterred anyone. They're coming all the way from down the street almost. They just keep coming, and you can see them at all the entrances walking in. They're happy. These are very happy people today because they want to come and cheer on the Husky men as they come in, and they're making their way, and a lot of people are trying to run up to the entrance because they realize the guys will be here shortly. It's a lot of excitement out here. Everyone wearing some kind of UConn paraphernalia. They want to make it known to the world that this is the home of the champions. What a hero's welcome out here, and the attitude of everyone is so wonderful to welcome the guys today. It's a bit windy out here, and I'm going to take a break and go get a UConn hat for my head so my hair won't continue flying.
All right, Dee. We're looking now inside. We had a brief shot there inside Gamble where they're awaiting the team.
Did you see that banner, what it said?
We shocked the world.
We shocked the world. Khalid's words live on that banner. Last night, you remember, just before the game started, he predicted they would shock the world, and I think, well, they shocked everybody but UConn fans.
Absolutely. I wonder what those players must be thinking as they make their way to stores and seeing all the fans lined up along the route there to wave at them and to cheer them on. It must be incredible. I think it's maybe now sinking in. Some of them were speaking to us last night after the game saying it hadn't really hit them yet. We're going to take a look now at some reaction that we got from the players after that magnificent game last night. Let's roll the tape.
Indeed, we did shock the world. I don't think anyone thought we can go out and do what we did. We were 10-point underdogs, and we thought that was ridiculous to be 10-point underdogs. You know, that really hurt our pride and really motivated us to go out and really win.
But a lot of people didn't, like I said, didn't believe in us. You know, they gave Duke 10-point advantage from the beginning, and they thought that they were going to come out and win. But we truly believe that we can go out and win the game, and everybody left all their heart out on the court, and that's the most important thing. You know, before we even went on the court, you know, we told everybody, don't go out there if you don't believe we can win. And everybody knew from the jump ball, even though they got up a couple points in the beginning, we knew we can win the game.
It's just a happy feeling. You know, I think you know, all the things that we accomplished since we got over the hump and made it to the Final Four. You know, I'm just happy for Coach and happy for all the fans that, you know, been cheering us on from day one.
What does it mean to bring it to Coach Calhoun to give him his first national title? No one will ever do that again.
It means a lot. You know, just the simple fact that we made it. You know, he made it to his first Final Four. He made it to his first finals, and then we ended up winning the whole thing. You know, so it feels a lot. You know, I give him a lot of credit because he always stayed with his stuff and never let, you know, people saying, okay, you never made it to the Final Four to deteriorate.
Have they ever played harder, Coach?
Oh, they have given me a terrific run as a coach, and I think they've given the state and the university a tremendous thing. And I think that the word character and will and all those cliches things that we throw around sometimes too loosely certainly apply to this team. You know, we're not even particularly big at times. We're not exactly a team that overwhelms you with offense, but we just beat you. And we found an awful lot of different ways. And tonight we found that combination of our fast break, our press, our defense, all the things that you think are good about us, we were able to use those things to beat a great Duke team.
And it was a great Duke team, and look at the great crowd that has come out, assembled on the route, the caravan route, as the buses make their way under. Yeah, you see exit 66 of I-84 there.
Channel 3's Brian Garnett is up in the chopper. Brian?
Isn't that amazing, Denise and Al? That's the way it's been all along the route here, that the overpass full of people, the side of the highway. We've seen fire trucks alongside the highway, and just flocks of people who have, again, just pulled their cars over, gotten their signs out and their pom-poms to get their cheering in. And I can do a little traffic report while we're up here. If you have to head out 84 eastbound, give it a while, because again, this motorcade behind the buses stretches back probably half, 3/4 of a mile, and it just slows the highway down to nothing as people fall in behind the buses to make their way up. Right there, look at we can get this signal back. Look at the fire trucks on the median down here. The buses are going past now. Look at the crowd of people and the fire trucks. We're just going to come up to it now on the other side of this overpass. but someone's got what looks like there's a whole crowd of people, and it looks like their entire fire department parked out there with the ladders up, and they want to make it clear these guys should be relishing every moment of this. A little while ago, as they were headed down 91 southbound, they went under one of the computerized highway signs, which told them, if they didn't already know, that Connecticut has the 1999 NCAA champs flashing as the buses went underneath. As they come up to another overpass now, more people stop, more people on the side of the highway. It's going to be a long road home to UConn, but one certainly these guys are never going to forget.
Yeah, can you imagine it's one thing to win a national championship, but what they must be feeling, seeing the adulation of all of these people assembled out there.
This isn't just a crowd that was down at Tropicana Field. It's not just the folks inside of Gamble Pavilion. They have to realize, again, what they have done to touch everybody in the state of Connecticut. Again, whether you're a basketball fan or a UConn fan or not, you are a resident of the state of Connecticut, and a little piece of this is for everybody in the state. And you just have to feel the excitement and feel the joy today, as these people obviously below us are doing right now.
There's nothing like the hometown crowd, that's for sure. And boy, you talk about a crowd. The crowd that's assembled at Gamble right now is pretty spectacular. All the students and their families there. Hey, look who's there. Channel 3's Dennis House. You were in St. Petersburg last night.
Yeah, I was there about 6 hours ago, the magic of modern travel. Anyway, this is the scene here at Gamble Pavilion where it's pretty much packed. All these people here. And this is not supposed to start for another hour. You can see they've all brought their signs, UConn Top Dog territory, newspapers. Almost all these people are wearing their UConn garb. Let's see if I can talk to some of them here. Sir, what is your name and where are you from?
Paul Windrickles from Weathersfield.
All right, why'd you come out here today?
Husky Blue! True and blue. All my life Husky fan. George Ehrlich all the way through. Toby Kimball, Ed Slemczewski, you name it, I'm there. Huskies, baby, Huskies!
Just a little excited. Now, did you have to leave work today?
Oh, yeah.
What do you do?
Mailman. Jeez. Oh, my God.
Might not be in my neighborhood.
Don't say guns.
That's all right. Let it go today. See if the lovely and talented photojournalist Allison Kagan can follow me here. What is your name?
Mike.
Mike, what's your last name? Where are you from?
Newman from Ashford.
You have to quit school today or leave school today?
I went to school, came here.
What did the teachers say?
Nothing, because you got #1. Yeah.
We've got some young fans, we've got some old fans. Instead, this is not supposed to start for another 55 minutes or so, although we understand, and you would know this better than I would, where the bus is. So it may get here a little earlier, and the folks certainly are prepared. Almost a full house here. You can see there are some seats up here in the very top rows.
Dennis, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Denise, but just barely.
Okay, the friendly letter carrier that you just spoke to, he's wearing a hat on his head that says Heaven, and I'm wondering if that's in reference to the song that Tate George was singing last night about being in heaven.
There might be. Actually, this is a homemade thing. This is the headline from the Hartford Courant, and it's taped to the back. And, you know, people are improvising here. They're coming, and they're bringing their own magic markers. In fact, on the ride out here from Hartford down Route 84, we saw all sorts of people spray painting signs. I mean, last minute, you know, they saw someone with one that said, I got to have one in my front lawn, too. So this is pretty much happening at the spur of the moment. I mean, after all, they just won, I don't know, 15 hours ago or something like that. So people are really throwing this together. They're doing a good job, too.
They sure are. We have the newspaper headline right here, Dennis, that represents what that gentleman had on his headband, the Hartford Courant headline, Husky Heaven. And boy, they are in heaven, those fans, and the players, and the coaches.
And if you missed Tate George singing that song last night, you really missed a lot. That was pretty
How did
spectacular.
that go?
Something about being in heaven. He was so happy that they won. It was great.
And I think you need a cigar when you're singing it.
Oh, the director is singing in my ear, Heaven must be like this. That's what he was singing.
Must be like this.
But
Yeah, that's what
you had to be there. You had to see him do it. We don't do it justice.
Now, we understand the caravan is just approaching the UConn exit 68 off I-84. From there, it'll be just a few miles up to the campus. They may very well have to slow down. It's a much narrower road getting to the campus, and so it may be another 15 minutes or so, maybe even 20 before the players get to Gamble, and then who knows how long it'll take for them to get inside. Here's our Sky 3 shot, and Brian Garnett's up there.
I'm sure, Al, when they hit Route 195, rather, which is a small two-lane road, things are going to go considerably slower, because I'm sure as they get closer to the campus, the number of people is going to multiply exponentially. And you can see an overpass that is just going under here in a minute. More people there up on the overpass, parked, waiting for them, signs at the ready, waving their arms. The state police doing the best that they can to keep this going, but there have been people along the highway the whole way, and even the cars going by, you can see when they get to the bus that some of them will slow down and take a good look at it. And once again, we're bringing a whole flock of fans with us up behind the bus here for probably a good half of a mile. All the people that rush to their cars after the celebration at the airport, they're tagging along behind, and they want to be part of Gamble also.
What an incredible picture. Wow. And we're going to continue our live coverage of this historic day in Connecticut right after this break. Stay with us. Okay, that big welcome home rally begins in about 45 minutes at Gamble.
Yeah, you know, before the big game and during the Final Four, there was a lot of vendors out there selling all kinds of paraphernalia. And you can imagine what's going on now that UConn is the national champ. We go out to Dennis' house out at Gamble Pavilion, where the rally's about to get underway. What have you got there, Dennis?
Well, I'll tell you, last night in Tampa, I actually bought a few things, but they printed some new things overnight. This is one of them. What's your name and where are you from, sir?
Roger Austin, Meriden.
Okay, now this shirt obviously was printed, may have been printed beforehand, but where'd you get it?
I got it at the Mall of Meriden. They said it was hot out of the box, so...
Now, this hat here, what is your name and where are you from?
Matt Carson from West Hartford.
Now this hat, if you take a quick look at it, these are the same hats that the players wore last night. Seconds after they won, someone brought them up. And I was talking to one of the people who make these things last night down in Tampa, and he says the NCAA has a rule that they make these things in advance, obviously, because there's no way they could physically get it all done right after the game and sell them hours later. What they do is the ones that are incorrect, like there are actually hats that say Duke, national champions, those have to be destroyed, I'm told, by NCAA rules. One guy let me buy a Huskies one that was made in advance last night. You know, if they had lost, it would have been a collector's item. Now it's just a normal hat. So you can see these things for sale all across the campus and, of course, all across stores in Connecticut, and there will be much more to come. I noticed when I got off the air at Bradley Airport today, there were already some for sale. Much more expensive than Florida, I'll tell you that. Denise, now back to you.
And Dennis, I want to thank you for the nice little ball that you brought back for my daughter, Catherine. I have it right here on the set. It's beautiful. It says here, let's see, Final Four, Tampa Bay. I know she'll love it. Thank you, Dennis.
Well,
We're going to go to Channel... You're going to go to Channel 3's Dee Griffin right now, who's outside Gamble. Dee?
Well, you know, Dennis was talking about those vendors. They were going to make a lot of money today off of these people packing into Gamble. There are thousands of people inside. Well, I tell you what, outside there's thousands more continuing to come into Gamble. They're flowing in right now. And I'm looking down the street here, and I can still see beyond the hill there, I can see more people coming up. This place is going to be filled to capacity. And I tell you, if you don't get in there right now, you might not get a chance to get in at all. I'm standing at the area where the bus will stop and let the gentleman off, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people out here to cheer them on, but they have a lot of security out here because the crowds, as they try to get into Gamble, they are stopping, and the security guards are telling them, go ahead and get in. You know, the guys will be in shortly. So they're protecting this area really well. So they have a lot of people coming and going right now, and they are getting ready. Apparently the guys are coming soon because the more police officers are coming out right now. Back to you in the studio.
And here's the picture right now, Dee, from Sky 3. We understand the bus is in Holland now. Channel 3's Brian Garnett is in Sky 3. Brian?
Denise, we've just gotten off the highway onto Route 195, and the buses are at a crawl because both sides of Route 195, and they've made it all of 100 yards down this road so far. Both sides are just lined with people. Wait a second here as they come up on a shopping center. There's probably at least a couple of hundred people out here waiting for them. And even at 2,000 feet, Denise, I don't have to hear what some guy is saying when I can see his two hands in the air and jumping up and down. You kind of get the point from way up here that they are happy. Look at that. I mean, you can tell from up here what's going on down there.
Universal sign for Go UConn.
Oh, you've got that right. Look at these people. And if we pull back just a little bit, you can get an idea that they are just both sides of the road. They're down there. There's fire trucks out on the other side of the road. There's signs and people waiting for them. And again, we've made it right now probably a half a mile down Route 195. They're so close yet so far away from Gamble at this rate because, again, so many people want to be part of this. And, again, there are the whole, I'm just looking down now, the whole off-ramp for 84 is lined with cars, and the highway is probably, again, 3/4 of a mile backed up, people trying to get off behind the bus so they can follow it to Gamble. But once again, look at this on Route 195. Both sides of the road just crowded with folks, again, like it has been for much of the trip all the way home. And I just realized as we fly over on the corner, just as you get off the highway on Route 195, one of the fire departments has its aerial tower over the exit ramp with a sign to welcome them home. The buses pass under it, a welcoming arch, if you will, to welcome the victors home.
Brian, given the pace, would you hazard a guess as to when these buses might actually get to Gamble?
Well, from here, they're probably all of about 10 or 15 minutes away normally, and that's taking it slow. But again, the people that they're going to meet up with along the way here are going to slow them down considerably. So I would guess it's going to be at least another 20, 25 minutes.
Well, the police appear to be doing as good a job as they can given the circumstances. You see one of the motorcycle officers in between the buses trying to keep the traffic coming the other way off to the side as much as possible. And then, of course, there are some more vehicles ahead of the buses trying to clear the way and make sure that nobody tries to get out there and stop the buses and see the players and that sort of thing.
But there are, at any place or some place that a person can stand, there usually have been people even alongside the road in the breakdown lane and right along 195 here. There's not very many places to stand because it is a back road, but just crowds and crowds and crowds of folks. And again, once the buses go by, you can see everybody start to scatter for their cars so they can get in and take up the chase. And again, if you're heading out 84 eastbound, I would avoid it for a little while until the crowd makes its way to Gamble.
Well, everybody loves a hero, and we've got a couple of buses filled with heroes down there, people who've dedicated themselves to a mission and have prepared themselves, obviously, very well. And what a game plan Coach Calhoun had last night against Duke, and it worked perfectly, and they came away with that beautiful victory for the University of Connecticut Huskies.
You know, for a lot of people today, they woke up this morning and the first order of business was to find anything UConn, especially a T-shirt, something that said National Champions. And I know that there's a company in West Haven that the workers there were pulling an all-nighter tonight, trying to get all those T-shirts out. And Channel 3's Deborah Kent told me about 2 hours ago that she had checked with some of the local department stores and already they were sold out. So you can imagine the demand is pretty high.
Dennis talked about the situation where if they have the Duke championship hats, they have to destroy all of that. And when we interviewed the people who were making the championship T-shirts, there was a company down in West Haven, they told us last night once the game was over, they were going to have to put these shirts out. Look at them working here. They were going to expect to be putting out 1,400 of these an hour. 1,400 an hour. They had orders that they were worried they weren't going to be able to fill, but they were going to work hard to do it. And
this is video inside Powers Incorporated in West Haven. And you know there's a bunch of bleary-eyed workers in there today because you know they were up all night trying to meet the demand for these UConn championship T-shirts. They are pretty.
They are. It's a great thrill, and wasn't it fortuitous that UConn won the toss and got to wear the home uniforms last night?
I noticed
think that helped. They were the home team, and we always like it when the home team wins.
We sure do. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
WFSB.com, paving the superhighway with the first live-action reports in color and online. The news that's important to you at the tip of your fingers, anytime, anywhere. From the headlines to the weather, WFSB.com is the most updated news source for your area. All you need to know in local news at the tip of your fingers. From Channel 3, Connecticut's news station.
Celebration Day all across Connecticut as the state welcomes home the nation's champions.
They've been champions for, I would say, what, about 16 hours now? Something like that. And you all remember, if you were up watching last night, and we sure were, what happened and how UConn came away with the championship. Let's look at the final moment.
Jones, Langdon, trips, and UConn has done it!
That was the scene last night at Tropicana Field. I love that shot of Khalid running to the camera. We shot the world. That was great. We're going to check in now with Channel 3's Brian Garnett up in Sky 3 as the UConn buses make their way to Gamble. Brian, are you there?
We are, Denise, and we're getting awfully close. Gamble is right off the bow of the helicopter here, and the buses are right off the tail of the helicopter. Couple more corners, and actually looks like pretty smooth sailing here. The last intersection has some folks all lined up, but once we get through that, they'll be there probably, I would guess at this point, within 5 minutes. They will be on campus. There we are. You got us back again here. Again, we can see from here, we can see the traffic and the people around Gamble. That big silver dome just on helicopter.
All right,
I apologize for those technical problems.
It happens, it happens. But inside Gamble Pavilion, Dennis House is waiting for the Huskies to come, along with the gathered throng, which must be close to 10,000 by now. Filled up, Dennis?
Yeah, they're about down, Denise. Remember I told you about those infant artists that were created by last night's big victory? Well, here's one of them, Kathy Taylor of Coventry, who made this beautiful sign. Tell us how you put this together.
Oh, after about 3 hours of sleep, being very tired, very stressed out, I spent about 2 hours this morning putting it together, and it's put together with pride and a lot of love, and these guys are great. They're so deserving. They really are.
When did you decide that you had to do this?
Oh, do what? I've been a UConn. Oh, I made the sign probably about 6 o'clock this morning. I started, and I've been a UConn fan my entire life, and it's been wonderful the whole time.
And you brought the family over there. They all.
My daughter. Yep. Oh, they're thrilled. They're thrilled to be here.
Very nice for that. Will you save this forever?
Oh, forever. It's going to my daughter's room with all her UConn memorabilia.
All right, Kathy Taylor, thank you very much. As I said, the team is not expected here for another 20 or 30 minutes, we're told, but already the crowd is starting to fill up. Let's go outside Gamble Pavilion and check in with my colleague, Dee Griffin, who's monitoring things on campus. Dee, how is it out there?
Well, Dennis, it's getting crowded out here as well. I can see the helicopter over amongst the clouds over there. That means the guys right on our hills over here. They're just a couple of blocks away, in fact, and people are beginning to rush in so that they can get some seats, whatever seats are remaining. Also, people are gathering around the barricades here that have been set up where the guys will walk through and go into Gamble. Security is here. They are in place right now. As you can see, the buses, they are making their way onto Gamble's area, onto the campus here, and excitement is building. We're all looking up and seeing the helicopter trying to follow it because we know that that's where the bus is, and we can see it. Let's go back inside, Dennis, to you and see how it's going. People are rushing in. What are you seeing there, Dennis?
Yeah, they certainly are, Dee. This is going to be a major thing for the university over the years to have this huge win. And joining me now is Vicki Tripani. She is the Vice President of Academic Affairs. How is it going to affect applications and so forth?
Oh, they'll definitely increase, but it'll also increase the quality of what we do here. This institution is going through a transformation, and this achievement is just another feather in the cap for what we're doing here.
So we may not see the effect right now. We may see it 5 years from now. What will UConn be like in 5 years because of this victory?
UConn is going to be one of the best public universities in the country, no doubt about it. The kind of students we're attracting here, the kind of community that we're building, the kind of experience that we're providing to all of our students, and that's not just about basketball, although we are so excited about the basketball. It's about the total experience. It's phenomenal.
Put us on the map in the world of academia much more than it has been?
Absolutely. My colleagues all over the country, I skipped my email today, and I'm getting messages from all over this country of people who are so excited about what we're doing here.
What about in terms of alumni donations? Will this spur more of them?
Sure should. In fact, we're doing such a better job now of building that community beyond who's here on campus and reaching out to those alums and helping them feel a part of this experience.
Very good. All right. Vicki Tripani from the UConn administration, thank you very much for being with us today. And certainly it is going to help because they were saying, in fact, even the students here, they have a renewed sense of pride in their own school, in their homework and things like that, although not too much homework's being done today, Sadal.
I can imagine a lot of papers and other assignments falling by the wayside for the moment, but you know, it's okay.
Yeah, this doesn't happen very often.
No,
We've been waiting a long time. But as Dennis pointed out in that interview there, it really is about a lot more than basketball. You talk about the whole university community, the visibility of our state, so it really is a statewide thing, and it's a wonderful thing as well. And Brian Garnett, you're up there in Sky 3. Where are those buses now?
We'll swing back to the right just a little bit, and you'll see Gamble Pavilion, the big silver dome. And the buses are probably about a mile from campus at this point. There's the pond of UConn. And right behind it, there's Gamble Pavilion. You can see the people outside.
All right.
We know they're close. Very close.
Very close. So close. And we'll take a break and be back in a moment with more March Madness.